Thank you, Mr. Speaker. According to the U.S. Treasury, during the first 4 months of the new fiscal year, which began in October 2016, the federal government took in over $1 trillion in revenue. Unfortunately, we casually say $1 trillion. To help understand the scope of how big this number is, $1 trillion would be like receiving $1 million a million times. 1 trillion, if you counted by 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 numbers a second, would take you over 15,000 years to get to 1 trillion. It's a big number. It's a lot of money. And this amount broke the record amount of tax receipts collected in a 4-month period in U.S. history. If we turn to the state level, our own revenue department in Oregon, the story isn't much different. In Oregon, we're also expected to receive record revenues during the next biennium, which will mean an increase of 30% during the past 6 years. Record revenues, 30%. What could be wrong? When we as a state government proclaim we have a revenue problem, when at the same time we are swimming in record revenues at both the federal and state levels, we are in essence blaming the taxpayer for our budget problems. They obviously aren't paying enough. Frankly, I think this blame is misplaced. Rather than blaming our budget problems on corporations, businesses, and taxpayers, we must look at the other side of the ledger, spending and costs. Unfortunately, state government is currently structured in such a manner that is unsustainable. There really is no other word for it. If Measure 97 had passed, it would have only been a temporary fix, because soon our costs would have grown to eclipse the new revenue, and we'd be right back where we are today, needing yet another new tax. My fellow colleagues, I ask that we quit blaming corporations, businesses, and taxpayers for our budget problem. This is our problem, right here, right now, in this chamber. We can solve it by working together. We can do this, and it is clearly within our power. In closing, I'd like to repurpose a phrase made famous during the 1992 presidential election. It's the economy, stupid. But in Oregon today, it's not the economy. It's not the revenue. It's not the corporation, the business, or the taxpayer. No, today in Oregon, it's the spending, stupid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.